Good evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Baccalaureate. Welcome to Cochrane Chapel. I'm Gina Finicaro, and I'm one of the chaplains here, and this is always one of my favorite nights of the year, so welcome. Welcome to this space. If you're unfamiliar with this space, let me offer you just a couple of tips. The restrooms are downstairs. There are women's bathrooms sort of on this side of the building downstairs, and the men's room is sort of in the middle back there. There's an elevator through that door, if that is something you don't know exists. It's through that exit door. I hope that you got a program, and I hope that you got a candle. If you didn't get a candle, there are plenty, and an ushers can come around and get a candle, but you'll want a candle for later in our program tonight. I'm going to ask you to try and hold your applause until the very end. It's very tempting because there will be so many wonderful things that happen tonight, but there is sort of a feel of the service that we try to sort of suspend time as we open until we close. And so if you could refrain from clapping so that we can be held together in that space, that would be lovely. When we get to the candle lighting, I will remind you that the lit candle stays upright and the unlit candle bends to the flame. This is how we keep the building from catching fire, friends. Okay, with that, let us begin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anaya Kummer, and I'm a senior from Costa Mesa, California.
My name is Papa Painsel, and I'm a senior from North Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Parents, family, friends, faculty, and of course, the class of 2026. We are so grateful to have the opportunity to welcome you all to our very special baccalaureate service. This tradition is extremely special to our community, and we are so excited to share it with you all. To begin, we're going to talk a little bit about the role of the chapel on campus and how this space has influenced how we have experienced Andover.
The chapel is one of the most dynamic spaces on campus. Musical concerts, religious services, debates, and all-school meetings all happen within the chapel. But the overarching sense of community that this place encapsulates is what truly makes it special.
Whether learning about music from Pentatonics member Kevin Alusala or astronomy and perseverance from astronaut Jose Hernandez, this space is somewhere that all Andover students and alums have experienced in some way.
Personally, the time I've spent within this chapel has been integral to my growth as a young adult. These walls bore witness to our class's matriculation into Andover, a ceremony that feels so distant looking back, but meant the world to my freshman self who was yet to see a world beyond the bubble of his neighborhood. In my musical journey, the delicate echo and reverberation invited by the chapel walls created a feeling of warmth and belonging that I search for with every choral performance. Finally, this sacred space has empowered me to reaffirm my Christian faith. In my years passionately singing gospel songs and attending Protestant worship services, the Cochran Chapel has served as a safe haven for me to remain steadfast in my faith, even when the world tries to tempt me into believing otherwise.
While I haven't spent as much time in the chapel, one of my core memories in the chapel was the last time practicing for my CAMD Scholar presentation. For those of you who are not familiar, Community and Multicultural Development, CAMD Scholars, create a historical research presentation and paper based on a topic of their choice. I chose to present on anti-Muslim hatred, a topic that is near to my heart both because of my Muslim identity and its relevance in current events. While I often miss Jummah prayers in the chapel because of my commitment with academics and sports, I revisited the chapel alone to solidify my final presentation. Immediately, I was met with the ornate wood decorations, tall ridge columns, and grand elevated stage before me. I pictured the faces of my classmates perched before me as I stepped upon the podium. Entering the chapel reminded me of my project's purpose in the first place: to use my research to advocate for the students I pictured sitting in the pews, students like myself. When returning to a space that is meant to be communal, I was able to think about my project in terms of a collective. I wanted to share a passion of mine, but also affect change for future students that could help directly reduce anti-Muslim hatred on our school campus. To me, the chapel holds that spirit of togetherness and community change.
No matter what your spiritual or religious background, Anaya and I encourage you to reflect on your own relationship with the chapel in this moment that we have together. The idea of finding home is something that is reiterated time and time again for Andover students. We are encouraged to form meaningful bonds with our peers, to cultivate our interests through classes and extracurriculars, and piece together our identities in the 4 short years we have together at this school. The chapel may not have felt like home for everyone in this room, but it is the one place that we can set aside whatever differences we may have and truly remain present with one another.
Class of 2026, we are an extraordinary class filled with a beautifully diverse student body. But tonight, we are asking you all to remain grounded in this moment. It is our last night on campus, and one we hope you will all remember beyond Andover. As it has stood strong for many years, the chapel will continue to remain one of the spaces on campus that we have all experienced in some capacity for years and years down the line.
Tonight, we have a special opportunity to create the memories that we'll look fondly upon in our future lives. So let us be present in the service and cherish our final moments together.
Thank you and enjoy the service.
Class of 2026, friends and families, it is my privilege to invite you further into tonight's celebration. These chapel walls now ringing with all of our voices. Thank you, Papa and Anaya, for preparing our chapel with your words. This communal space, a spirit of togetherness, and our collective community being one, no matter our spiritual or religious or ethical background. Pope Leo, in his recent writing on the grandeur, the majesty of humankind, writes, "The Church regards all who sincerely seek truth, goodness, and beauty as companions on the journey, and considers them as precious allies in defending the dignity of every person and our created world." So my friends, my precious allies and companions on the journey, I invite you to consider the goodness and beauty, the dignity of humanity, as put forth by another spiritual writer, a mystic, a civil rights leader, and a social pioneer, Howard Thurman. Writing 50 years ago for a sermon and a baccalaureate address, he writes, "The sound of the genuine. There is in every person something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine. There is in you, in every one of you, something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. The sound of the genuine is flowing through you. Nobody like you has ever been born, and no one like you will ever be born again. You are the only one. And can you find a way to hear the sound of the genuine in yourself? Sometimes there's so much traffic going on in your minds, so many different kinds of signals, so many voices and noises inside of you. You are buffeted by all of these. Cultivate, Thurman says, cultivate the discipline of listening for the sound of the unique, the essential, the genuine in yourself. For you are the only you that has ever lived. Listen, and you might hear the whisper of God, of beauty, of truth, that comes through the sound of the genuine. And when these sounds come together, this is exquisite music. There is in every person that which waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in themselves. There is that in every person that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in other people. That is, I must wait and listen for the sound of the genuine in you. I must wait, for if I cannot hear it, then in my scheme of things, you are not even present. So as I live my life then, this is what I'm trying to fulfill. That I'm secure because I hear the sound of the genuine in myself. And having learned to listen to that, I can become quiet enough, still enough, to hear the sound of the genuine in you. Thurman goes on, now if I hear the sound of the genuine in me, and if you hear the sound of the genuine in you, it is possible for me to go down in my spirit and come up in your spirit. So that when I look at myself through your eyes, having made that pilgrimage, I see in me what you see in me. Then the walls that separate and divide will disappear, and we will become one, because the sound of the genuine makes the same music, and we become one. May tonight's beauty and goodness of word and silence and music inspire the genuine in each of you. as you rest in this last evening in this sacred space.
Good evening. My name is Gabriel. I'm a 3-year senior from Milan, Italy. When I think of Andover, I think of an apartment building. An apartment building itself is a home, but inside are many different apartments, each of which a home of its own. During our time at Andover, we have entered many of these apartments, and we have found places of belonging, homes within a home. These spaces might be found in a classroom, dorm, friend group, sport, and I am sure each one of us can reflect back and identify at least one place of belonging at Phillips. For me, the greatest sense of belonging lies with outdoor pursuits, my woodworking in the makerspace, and the Catholic community. While these may sound like incredibly different pursuits, like many other apartments on this building we call campus, they are brought together through community. Community means a lot to me, in part because of my faith. Catholicism is a community-focused religion that invites people to pray together. Even our highest form of prayer, the Mass, is a community-based event. Coming to BA and strengthening my faith in a place so focused on community has helped me find a home not only in Andover, but also a deeper sense of home within my faith. Community is also the friends we have met along the way, the people we disagree with but keep engaging with. It is the people we nod to on the paths. At Andover, I have found that community is built less intentionally than we might think. Because more than cluster Olympics or munches, kindness is a far more powerful building block. Kindness has so many forms, on campus and off it. And most of these forms are written off. Most of us don't think twice about holding the door to the library or reminding someone when the next class begins. But I think it is precisely those moments that form a community. These hundreds of small acts of kindness that happen every day without almost anyone noticing. And yet, perhaps the reason these moments matter so much is precisely because we so rarely notice them. We grow accustomed to kindness, to the people who quietly surround us, and in doing so, begin to take for granted the very things that make community possible. In one of the Hobbit movies, Gandalf claims that it is the small or everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay. And while we are not faced with an all-powerful Dark Lord who wants to use a magic ring to destroy all life, we are faced with something quieter, the temptation to move through life too quickly, to overlook one another and the world around us. What I have always liked most about this quote is its distinct lack of heroism. It is about ordinary people doing ordinary things. And while Andover has taught us all quite a bit about the extraordinary, it is up to us to appreciate the ordinary. Taking a few moments to enjoy a sunset, or to catch up with a friend you haven't seen in a while, to get caught up in a game of spike ball on a nice sunny day. These are just some of the ordinary things that happen all around campus. I urge you all gathered to reflect. Have you taken that moment to appreciate that rare commons meal you like? That announcement that your first period class got canceled and you can sleep in? Will you appreciate tomorrow the perfect great long grass as you get ready to graduate? I believe Gandalf's words are useless if not paired with that simple act of noticing. Small acts of kindness can be happening all around us, but if we are unwilling or unable to see them, they are unable to hold the darkness at bay. This is a challenge that takes so many forms. Even in my faith, I find that when looking for God, I expect the extraordinary, the miracles, the 180s, but I'm given the ordinary. A picturesque hike on a weekend with lovely weather, a message from some friends I haven't heard from in a while. It took me a long time to realize that seeing or not seeing God was up to me, to my being able to notice the small things, the ordinary things, and be thankful for them. As we leave this apartment building we have grown to call home and step into the next stage of our lives, We will inevitably find ourselves entering new buildings, new apartments, new versions of community. And if Andover has taught us anything, it is that these places are not defined only by their walls or their programs, but by the people building them through small acts of kindness. I hope we carry with us not just the instinct to offer those moments to others, but the ability to notice them when they are given to us, to recognize the ordinary gestures that make a place feel like home, to hold the door and to see the door being held for us, and to understand that both are what turn a place into a home.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Bay, and it's a profound honor to stand before you tonight. As a graduate of the class of 1990, a former charter trustee, and perhaps most meaningfully, as the parent of 4 wonderful children who have each experienced their own unique journey through Andover. Owen graduated in 2021, Daniel in 23, and our twins, Sarah and James, are graduating this year. My wife Janice and I couldn't be more proud of each of them. Standing here tonight, I'd like to start by sending a huge thank you to Dr. Kington, the trustees, teachers, coaches, house counselors, shout out to Dr. Hay, and all the staff for your incredible dedication and care for all of our children. And thank you to all the parents who've become regulars at Domino's and Chick-fil-A to support hundreds of dorm and team lunches. And to all the friends and siblings who've been on the other end of late night calls, willing to listen to both serious problems and the occasional complaint around campus phone policies, school dances, and DoorDash. You've all supported this incredible class of 2026 through their Andover journey. When I was asked to speak at Baccalaureate, the only thing my kids advised me was I had to be really funny. So I just want to apologize in advance that I'm not taking any of your advice. Tonight, I want to share some reflections on what a transformational impact Andover has had on my life, my family's life, and hopefully yours. My family moved to the United States in the early 1970s from South Korea, and we grew up in a mostly immigrant, blue-collar community on Long Island. My brothers and I went to public school. We didn't know anything about boarding schools, especially an elite school like Andover. I discovered Andover in the reference section of my local public library. That's what the internet was called back then. Where I saw a glossy brochure of Andover with pictures of its incredible campus, smiling students, and the description of dozens of extracurricular activities. And I knew I had to apply. When I got accepted to Andover, the biggest issue quickly became how to pay for it. Given our family's financial situation, I knew I'd only be able to go if I got basically a full ride scholarship. And somehow, thanks to the generosity of the school, to alumni donors I had never met before, I received a generous financial aid package and the opportunity to say yes. Even before stepping foot on this campus, I had learned one of the most important lessons in life: gratitude. The generosity of others can change people's lives, and I've always felt a tremendous responsibility to repay this gift, and I know many of you do too. I've spent my entire professional life on Wall Street, and today I am the co-CEO of an investment firm called KKR. And when I look back on my own career, I can say with confidence that Andover has given me many of the foundational tools to be successful. I know many of you in this room are thinking about what to major in college and have many questions about the future job market. Regardless of what field you decide to pursue, please know that your education, and more importantly, your experience here on campus, has prepared you well, probably in ways you don't fully appreciate today. In my 30 years with KKR, I've conducted literally thousands of job interviews. So tonight, what I wanted to do is give all of you some free advice on how to interview. And I hope that's helpful. This is the same advice I give my 4 kids. When I interview a candidate, the first thing I ask is, tell me about the most difficult thing you've ever done. And I've heard everything, from moving to a new country, growing up dyslexic, overcoming cancer. The important follow-up is, how did you handle the challenge and the situation? Like most employers today, we are not screening for that perfect GPA or Ivy League degree. We're screening for resilience, for grit, and the ability to overcome challenging situations with a positive attitude. If nothing else, Andover has taught you resilience and grit. I remember how nervous I was on my first day at Andover. To be honest, I showed up on campus carrying more uncertainty than excitement. Like many students, I spent a lot of time wondering whether I truly belonged. And I remember writing letters, yes, actual letters, to my father my lower year, sharing my feelings of doubt. Andover can be an intimidating place. You are surrounded by extraordinary talent. People doing college math in 9th grade, people who've launched their own startups, musicians who've performed at Carnegie Hall, maybe like this gentleman, or founded a nonprofit that's making a real difference in their communities even before they step foot on campus. Before each of my kids came to Andover, I told them that this would likely be one of the hardest things they ever do, but also one of the most rewarding. And that's the whole point. It's not easy, and that's what makes this experience so valuable. Class of 2026, you've not only survived, you've all grown tremendously, and many of you have thrived. You've learned to be resilient, to bounce back from a disappointing grade or not making the varsity team. You have learned to adapt to a new school, to make new friends, and explore new interests. This is a huge accomplishment that you should be very proud of. The second area I try to explore in interviews is the level of emotional maturity a candidate has. We are not looking to hire people who are just smart, accomplished, and hardworking. We are specifically looking for people who are great team players, who know how to cultivate relationships and build like and trust. In my industry, rarely do you win a deal because you're the smartest person in the room. Founders, entrepreneurs, and management teams choose their partners carefully, finding people they can connect and develop long-term relationships with. And this may be Andover's superpower. For many of you, you've discovered at Andover something more important than a great classroom education. You have found people who will become your lifelong friends. And along the way, you've learned how to build relationships and friendships with people from different backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs. As an adult, some of my closest friends in the world today are my Andover friends, and we are all wildly different. One of my best friends is a leading death row defense attorney. Another runs a fashion boutique in North Carolina. One's a stay-at-home dad. And another, literally, I have no idea what she does. But we have this bond built upon our shared experiences at this incredible school, as dorm mates ordering late-night pizzas, as teammates uniting to beat Exeter, and as classmates working together on group projects. This may be the greatest gift Andover has given you, a roadmap to building enduring human connections. And finally, we look for people who are not afraid to take risks and continue to evolve. The fact that you all chose to come to Andover speaks volumes about your willingness to challenge yourselves and take risks. For my kids, I love Sarah's decision to audition for Blue Key Head. I think she would tell you that it was the scariest and most exhilarating thing she's ever done. Basically embarrassing yourself in front of the entire school to show how much school spirit you have. And what impressed me the most was how her friends, her dorm mates, her teammates from track, and her siblings all rallied to support her. It's Andover at its best. For James, picking up wrestling his freshman year was a complete surprise for me and Janice. Going to his wrestling meets has been one of the most stressful but satisfying experiences we've had as parents. Seeing him take a risk, finding a new passion, and committing to it. You all have your own versions of this, big and small, where you push yourself beyond your comfort zone. So class of 2026, you are headed into a world with extraordinary opportunity, but also unprecedented change. Be confident in your ability to navigate whatever the future brings, not because of what you've learned in the classroom, your GPA, or graduation prize, but because Andover has given you all the necessary tools to live a meaningful life. You are resilient and adaptable. Know that sometimes you'll fail, but more importantly, know that you'll be able to pick yourselves up. Allow yourselves to continue to evolve and remain curious. Protect your capacity for empathy, friendship, and gratitude. And most importantly, remember to say thank you to your moms, dads, grandparents, siblings, and friends who are with you tonight. Congratulations.
Good evening. It's a special honor to share this night with you and to help welcome your families to campus. At all-school meeting a few weeks ago, Kevin Alusala described his journey of self-discovery through formal education, cultural immersion, and music. Class of 2026, as Ko would say, you are unique and original. I've had the pleasure of supporting and adoring your class for the last 4 years. For some of you, it's been much longer than that. I mean you, faculty kids. When my daughter Ginny and I moved to campus 18 years ago, most of you and the rest of your class had just been born. I've watched you move from the bucket swings in the playground outside Commons to upper left and finally to lower right. Let me tell you, that is quite a journey within a tiny footprint. To my Johnson kiddos, you know who you are. For many good reasons, teachers are not meant to tell students that they love them. But of course we do. Johnson, it's been a privilege to watch you learn, grow, and take up space in a way that inspires one another as well as our youngest students. I am obscenely proud of you because I love you. Tomorrow, we will all part and say goodbye for now. And as one of your teachers, I can't not offer a bit of advice. So tonight, I have one wish and one challenge for you as you prepare to step outside the Andover bubble. First, the wish. I wish that each of you could see yourself through your teacher's eyes. If you could, you wouldn't worry about your future quite so much. Trust me when I say that you are more ready for what comes next than you may feel right now. And you have options. By virtue of your sitting here, you have the privilege of deciding how you will spend your adult life. Take a moment to appreciate that fully. The vast majority of the 8 billion or so humans that share planet Earth with us do not get the opportunity to decide their fate. But you do. You have options, and your future is bright. Andover is also, really and truly, your forever home. You heard this firsthand when Ko shared how it felt to return to campus. As you'll recall, LCG had sent him a brief message that morning. 2 simple words: welcome home. They landed so warmly in his heart because they rang true. Your time at Andover will mean different things to you as you move through the various chapters of your life. And each time you remember this place and your experiences here, you'll do so through a new lens, with a fresh perspective gained from new settings and lessons learned. So keep in touch and visit. Tomorrow's students will love you for it, and your teachers will be delighted, more than you can know. Now for the challenge. Make time for play and for rest. I get it. As someone who has arguably assigned you quite a bit of work over the last 4 years, this may sound confusing, but bear with me. It is actually through play that you will continue to construct and nourish your personality. Play stimulates our creativity and imagination, and it also teaches us how to cope. Through play, we practice the natural give and take of life in a relatively low-stakes way. We learn to anticipate the needs and desires of others, and this helps us to live and work better with our fellow humans. Now, I want to be clear. When I say play, I do not mean spending time on Subway Surfers or the watermelon game. Playful exercise with others helps us focus, and it improves the quality of our sleep, something that you know is near and dear to my heart. But it also improves the quality of our waking rest. Yes, we also need time for rest while we're awake. the kind that allows our mind to wander wherever it wants to go, unencumbered by TV shows or social media. Sound like a tall order? Make time for play and idle rest? Believe me, there is time. Who here feels an immediate urge to pull out your phone when you're standing in line at the store or taking a long walk? Anyone? Okay, yeah, me too. When we instead simply embrace these moments of boredom and allow our minds to wander, we give something essential back to our brain, the chance to make meaning. Our brain needs time to replay our recent experiences and thoughts and surf our memory, finding new ways to connect them to our past as well as our dreams for the future. This is when what we do begins to matter and make sense to us in a highly personal and, yes, original way. Happiness in life hinges on building relationships and careers that are personally meaningful. While these parts of your life will challenge you, even greatly at times, they will also absorb and thrill you in a way that keeps you authentically engaged in what is known as your flow state. And yes, thanks to my daughter, I do know that this has become a meme, but one measure of success is the amount of your life spent in your flow state, something to aim for. Here at Andover, your days have been filled with a wide range of experiences, from classes and afternoon activities to performances, club meetings, and residential education. You've learned across disciplines in the liberal arts, designing your own independent projects when you've craved even more than our course of study could offer you. Next fall, you will find that you have quite a bit more discretionary time on your hands. So be deliberate. You are ready. Appreciate the wealth of options before you. Prioritize time for play and rest, building a life rich with meaning and flow. And remember, whenever you miss Andover, you will always be welcomed home, because we love you.
Good evening. I'd like to share a little bit about the story behind the composer and his song. Abing was a blind street musician whose name is now almost synonymous with the erhu, which is this instrument right here. He lost his eyesight and the life he had before becoming a street musician because of an unknown sickness. Despite all the hardships he faced in his life, he was able to create this remarkably optimistic song, which describes what he imagines is a moonlit spring. Thank you.
Please join us in observing the Litany of Gratitude. For the blessings of the past, for that which is complete, those days now known in memory. We give gratitude for all who have shaped us, for families who nurtured our becoming, for communities that framed and honored our cultures, values, and identities, for friends who cheered us on when our educational paths separated us. We are grateful for those whose presence challenged us and widened our celebration of humanity. We give thanks for those who have gone before us, whose lives and love and spirit ground our sacred stories and connect us to the deeply good and loving within us and beyond us. And so in response, we give thanks. We are grateful for those spaces and places that provided a sense of belonging, a home, the safety and grounding that allowed our less fearful and more emboldened leaving, for those familiar landscapes, skies, and breezes that were nature's gift of first wonder to our eyes, our ears, our touch of creation. We give gratitude for those places that opened us to the unknown, to the untraveled destinations in our neighborhoods, in our world that began our global sojourns, the unfamiliar that redefined our understandings of home and haven. And so in response, we give thanks. We give thanks for the time when our days passed simply with the most basic human activities of sleeping, eating, being held. We are grateful for the wide-eyed awakening to play, to color, to song, to speech, to movement, to touch, to the mind's growing in thought, creativity, and intellectual capability. We give gratitude for our maturing in awareness, for our capacity to remember and to acknowledge the marking of time, looking towards birthdays, the visit of loved ones from afar, the first day of school, the end of exams. We are grateful for developing expectation, anticipation, aspiration, and a looked-for promise and future. And so in response, we give thanks.
For the blessings of the future, what will be, what might be, and that which is unknown, we give thanks for the people who will come into our lives, who will shape and change us, challenge and stretch us, comfort and console us, celebrate and honor us. We are grateful, too, for those who will continue on with us, making us laugh, catching our tears, carrying memories, some whose relationships will transform and deepen, others with whom we will lose touch, whose paths will diverge from ours. And so, in response,
We give thanks.
We give thanks for the new spaces and places of all the ventures ahead, not yet familiar and unknown awaiting us. Places that will shape and change us, and those places, too, which we will impact and transform. We are grateful for a spirit of curiosity, respect, and appreciation, for finding ways to truly see each place, listen to its winds, explore its fragrances and flavors, and hear the music and speak the tongues of new lands. And so, in response,
We give thanks.
we give thanks for the ever-flowing stream of time, not knowing how much or how little of it we have ahead of us. Time experienced as it passes, sometimes slowly, often swiftly. Following in the teachings of prophets and ancient ones, we are wise to cherish each moment as it arrives. We are grateful for what we will remember, those smallest of ordinary moments and the big and momentous ones which we will carry with us from our days and years here at Andover. Allow that other moments will slip away. We are thankful for the untold future, all of the time, all of the experiences, unseen gifts for each and all of us to consider. For this night, we rest in thanksgiving for all that has been, for all that is, and for all that will be. And so, in response,
We give thanks.
Good evening, everyone. As we prepare for the candlelighting ceremony, it's my honor to invite Dr. Kington to the stage and to ask the ushers to please come forward with your candles so we may share our flames with one another, filling this beautiful space with our light. Across cultures and throughout history, light has served as a powerful symbol, one of knowledge, enlightenment, and truth. It's easy to imagine our most ancient and shared ancestors stepping into the darkness for the first time, a torch in hand, casting light on a world still full of mystery. My friends, we are gathered here this evening to send you forth into the wider world beyond our beloved campus. During your time here, your experiences have been many and varied. You have surely felt the full spectrum of emotions, celebrating success, confronting disappointment, and finding moments of excitement, anticipation, uncertainty, sadness, and hopefully joy in your daily lives. You have been challenged and called to grow, both in ways you expected and in ways that surprised you. Through it all, I am certain that there has been a steady source of support for each and every one of you, something, or more likely someone, who has served as a beacon or a lantern, helping guide you through the many days and nights you have called this place home. And now, as you move into the next chapter of your lives, you are presented with a precious opportunity. As you make your way through the world, you are now called to become that guiding light for others, just as others have been for you. For light does not reveal for some, while leaving others in shadow, and flame does not choose who is worthy of its warmth. Light and flame serve all who stand within their reach, without question, without prejudice, and without asking for anything in return. Please raise your candles as you take your first steps into the rest of your lives, seeking opportunity and success, fulfillment and meaning, companionship and love. May you, like these small lights we cradle in our hands, work for the benefit of all people. As you have been guided, may you guide others to where they need to be. As others have lifted you from clouds and confusion, may you bring clarity to the lives of others. And as others have helped you see the path that you yearn to follow, may you also illuminate the world for those still searching to find their way. Just as others have invested in your well-being, may you in turn share your one-of-a-kind, unique, and special light with the world, helping make it brighter, warmer, and more hopeful for all. Take a moment, look around you, see how we brighten this space together. And now, I invite you to close your eyes and gently blow out your candles.
soared up to God's own light. Take my own lost bird on your hearts tonight, and as grief once more mounts to heaven sings, let my love be heard. Love, angels soar to God's own light. Take my own lost bird on your hearts tonight. Breathe once more to heaven sings. Let my love be heard. Let my love be heard. Whispering in your
Friends, this baccalaureate night is full of magic. It always is. Some of you are new to its tradition, and some of you have looked forward to it, knowing how special this night always is. Whatever hopes you entered this space with, I hope they were fulfilled. On this eve of commencement, I imagine you're sitting with many emotions. Some of them competing: nostalgia, nervousness, excitement, fatigue. The space evokes all of them. And you will return to it. I'll wait. When you return to it, soon or far from now, I predict this space will stir all of that in you. I hope there will be many future moments when you walk these aisles again, as alumni, with pride, with gratitude, with love, maybe remembering how much your years here asked of you. It was hard, and you did it. You came through. Hold fast also to the fun you had in these years, the ways you played and laughed and enjoyed your classmates. In a few short moments, you will walk out of these aisles one last time as a student. As you make that last walk out these doors tonight and then across campus, walk a little slower, turning off the lights in the window of this apartment building. Notice the worn pew, Feel the air on a wet night. Take a look at those angels above. Whether you chose one for yourself some years ago or just tonight, try and catch a pocketful of these last notes on the organ when it swells. Snap a memory of that candle wax and the way the smoke trail lingered in the air. Tonight is still a mystical night. And friends, the storm is passing over. Tomorrow will be dry. Imagine yourself leaving behind the things that no longer serve you here in this place. The disappointments, the hurts, the grief, the hard things. Let them go. Leave them here. This space is big enough to catch them. Take only that which calls you to your best self for the night and the morrow. Gather up the hope, the gratitude, the joy, the pride, the sense of a being a part of this community in ways that propelled you into who you are now. Tomorrow, there will be a bagpipe call, a circle, fresh roses, blue ties, more emotion. But everything changes tonight, as it always does. We cross the threshold into beginning something yet unwritten. Hold your friends a little tighter. Tomorrow, you scatter. Thank your family more earnestly. No one got this far alone. And come through this leave-taking well, with intention and grace. Tomorrow, we will start the morning with blessings and rituals of a different kind. Tonight, may the packing be easy and the rest nourishing. Go now in peace and in joy, in the name of all that is holy and all that is good. Amen.